in the ditch.
No. Pre-talk before the song.
No, we've learned our lesson.
Hey, facts. No one trying to get fucking turned into a highlight reel.
Well, don't say weird shit. How about that?
You say weird shit all the time.
I've never been caught
Facts.
on no shit
Facts.
like this. Y'all the ones scared to get caught on some shit like this.
I'm like, hey man.
Yeah, brother.
That's crazy. That was ass. I was trying to be a DJ. It didn't work out like it was in my head.
Yeah, I thought it was just me because that shit was
Damn,
going on and
it
off.
worked
I'm like,
out.
what the fuck? What the fuck? I was like, yo,
That shit did not work out.
this ain't glitching.
See your day job, champ.
What the fuck?
That shit does
Yo.
not work over here like that.
Nah, don't
man. That's
don't do
crazy.
that shit again, Slim.
That
Nah,
shit was
that shit was
trash.
ass, bro.
That shit's garbage.
That shit was so
God.
trash, bro. What's good, man? We are back with another episode of the Real Rap Coalition podcast. And today we came to bring y'all another episode of X-Men 97, episode 2. So we ran episode 1 yesterday, man. We back today with episode 2. And we about to talk about it, man. So before we get into that, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Showtime Slim. Who else we got in the building?
F-Dub, you already know what it is. It's good to be back. And yo, we didn't even introduce ourselves yesterday. I
Don't
noticed
matter.
that.
Don't matter.
I had a cold ass intro and everything planned yesterday. It's crazy.
You can't
But
say
it's
it
all
today?
good, man. It's a big bad. I might be able to. It's a big bad Swolverine, man. I'm 350 pounds of solid muscle with an adamantium skeleton, and I'll still fuck you bitch behind your back. Let's get into it.
That nigga been in his feelings about a bitch this series.
That's a fact because she went back home and shit.
All right. Well, so we jumped forward from yesterday. Yesterday we reviewed the debut with the new guy Roberto Da Costa, and
the Costa.
yeah, I didn't even realize until probably like an hour after watching the episode. I was like, wait a minute, that guy wasn't even in this episode.
No, he wasn't.
So I
thought
don't know
same
what the
thing. I
fuck.
was like, what the fuck?
I'm sure he's gonna show up later down the series. Like I don't
He
think they would
better
just,
if they
but
showed this
you know what I'm
bitch
saying?
ass motherfucker as a one-off character. That's ass.
Yeah, KT, they made him kind of like the central focus yesterday of the show, and so to come back for episode 2 and not have him in it, it's kind of wild.
What were you about to say there?
What was it?
You said to come back for and then something start with an S, and I hope it wasn't what I thought it was finna be. And don't ask me what I thought it was. I want to know what you was finna say.
Yeah, I think I was finna say season instead of episode.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was hoping, like season 2. Okay.
What did you think?
I'm sure he's gonna
like,
show up.
If you was finna talk about like, cuz to come back for seconds and he ain't there, like,
man, what are you talking about? What? Seconds of what?
Seconds of the show, Slim. Come on, man.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, dog.
Man, I don't know what you're talking about right now.
The reason I believe he will come back is because like his like spoilers, he actually has a role in the comics. He is his name is Sunspot. So that's his, hero alias. So I would think, this was like a
fireworks guy, man. Spoiler alert, man. Y'all leave if y'all don't want to hear nothing.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Spoiler alert.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah. I don't doubt he'll make.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I noticed he wasn't there, but I don't think that like this episode was affected negatively by a motherfucker not being there. I think they was telling a more compelling story for me right now.
I mean, the story didn't need him in it for this episode, so that's why I was shocked when I was like, wait a minute. He wasn't even in the episode, like, because none of this shit had anything to do with him.
No, not at all. But this episode, like, kind of like what KTO said, was had a real compelling storyline. It was a lot better than the first episode, in my opinion.
For sure.
I think that, like, in this episode, the story was better. I think that the combat was better in the first episode, in my opinion.
They only had one fight in this one, right?
Yeah, like I think they dialed it back
fire, though.
shit.
I thought that fight was fire.
The
Yeah,
whole
like
courthouse
that
shit.
shit was cold. But so basically this episode, Magneto is basically like telling X-Men that like, all right, Professor X is gone and shit. He's like he left all this shit to me, and now like I'm taking over, for his vision and his dream and shit. And
Right.
everybody, knowing that Magneto is, a mutant dickhead, is like, I don't know how I feel about this shit, So the X-Men are having trouble trusting him. It shows like him going out there saving mutants, saving people. Ferris wheel goes off the rails. He puts that bitch back on. He frees some mutants from the sewers and shit, all type of shit. And like people are like, I don't know, I don't believe this shit. Weren't you just killing the shit out of us? Like,
yeah, because that was how they like the whole series in the 90s. It was Magneto trying to have this mutant, the mutant uprising or whatever.
Uprising. Yeah.
And so he was I kind of agree. They kind of mentioned it a little bit in this. Like, I don't think it was necessarily that he was against humans. He was really more for mutants.
He was pro mutants. So like obviously, we got the Friends of Humanity that are
Slimmy's Malcolm X, like
pro human. We got fucking Magneto trying to just get his mutant vision uprising by any means necessary back in the day. And then
Right.
we got the X-Men who are stuck in the middle overall. Essentially that is X-Men, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
And because of that,
go ahead.
yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, because of that, what you just mentioned about the whole uprising and everything, this is why the people don't believe that, like, when he saves the people from the Ferris wheel, they're like, what the fuck? Because they look at him as a terrorist. They called him a mutant terrorist. So
Well, I mean,
rightfully
to be
so.
fair, he did several terroristic
Rightfully
things.
so.
That motherfucker, like, this isn't a specific instance I'm talking about, but he's the type to, go hold ballistic missiles hostage and shit and threaten to use them on human beings unless they, release some of his, like, captured mutant compatriots,
yeah, but then terrorism is a tricky situation because you can say some of the United States acts have been terrorism.
Yeah, but like,
I'm not
okay, so
allowed to say
I
that.
don't think it's that tricky. I think people are just afraid to call it out. Like, terrorism is
I'm not
terrorism,
allowed to say
regardless
that.
of what side
You
you're
either.
on. Like,
Yeah, we're not allowed to say that.
How?
Because fireworks gonna send a nuke to your fucking house.
Bro, come on.
I've seen man. I saw
Enough.
fireworks hold Big Red
He
house
said
hostage
enough.
over $50, bro. Like,
He said enough, bro.
yeah, I seen that shit.
Fireworks, you work for
But
the government.
All
and the
right,
government's
Slim.
always listening to the podcast, Slim.
Exactly.
Slim, let's move forward from
That
that. Come on.
motherfucker ain't going for that
It's
shit.
classified,
Slim talking about.
KTL. You can't talk about it.
Man, I told you yesterday, Slim. They must have really kidnapped him.
Code, move
But,
on to the next subject.
This motherfucker, like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna go ahead and present my opinion. Magneto might be the best character in this motherfucking show. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Damn.
what?
Two episodes
Clearly.
in, and you already made
Well,
that.
I mean, he's the strongest character to be
Well,
fair.
I think
Fireworks.
it's beyond, like, not even necessarily like about the strength feats, although he did do some cold shit. I think that his character has presented me with the most interesting the duality of the situation. He's making some very valid points about everything. Like, it's making you observe things in a different manner, looking at the reformed supervillain and shit, or attempting to reform. I think that, like, his character is just the best so far for me. Like, Cyclops did good in the first episode, but like, right now he's kind of just like one note, like he is what he is, and there's no real complexity to the character yet. But I don't know, that's just my opinion. I was presenting it to see what y'all's opinions were.
I think it's gonna be hard to kind of like, I mean, so what they're doing, they're definitely kind of giving each of these characters like a different story arc. Like they all have some shit that they're into, that they're doing, but I think it's gonna be difficult to kind of like balance that with it being only 10 episodes and you got all these different characters. I mean, for Storm in her case, I mean, we haven't gotten to it. We haven't talked about anything, but this could be her last episode. I don't think it will be.
No,
But
I think that we're about to see just like a whole new like character arc. Like it's a whole like I guess I don't want to say reimagining, but like looking at the character in a different way.
So let me ask y'all a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I talked about it a little in the video that I made with the everything you need to know before watching. And so what happened at the end of the series in the 90s, Professor X, obviously he got shot and everything, or whatever happened to him with the Gyric guy. And he didn't actually die, because they were planning to they had the shit where there was a possibility that he could be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took him up to the whatever the fuck, and
The Kree and shit.
right. And so my question is, with that being a thing, do you guys think that there may be a comeback in this 10 episode series
I
of
don't know
Professor
if
X?
it'll be. I think if it happens in this season, it'll be at the end of the season to set up for the next one.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, because
But
before watching, I thought
he's
that
definitely coming back. Pause.
yeah, before watching this, I thought that Magneto was going to be just on his villain arc, and he would be like virtually unchecked because Professor X is really his only equal, which they kind of alluded to in the series as well. So I just thought he was going to be around fucking up shit, and then that was going to lead to Professor X is back, and now we get Magneto versus Professor X. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going that way. Maybe it could switch to him being like full villain Magneto, but
my fault. What I was gonna say is they definitely boy, that they had us at at the edge for a second, because I really thought it was just gonna be like a whole setup for Magneto. You feel me? To
and he was finna cook the shit out them people.
Right. Yeah, hell yeah. So fucking
definitely
like honestly, they did a very good job with Magneto's character in this episode. And then something else I wanted to highlight was I guess they alluded to Rogue and Magneto having a past, you feel me?
Yeah.
And then and something current right now, you feel me? I feel bad for Gambit.
We're gonna get to that in a minute. I'll tell you.
I feel bad for Gambit, I'll say that.
But Slim, one thing I did want to mention too, like I didn't say it earlier, we didn't see Roberto in this episode, but did you notice we also didn't see Jubilee this episode? I don't think.
Oh no,
so I'm going to assume that
that she took that ride on that jet with that motherfucker, huh?
Yeah, what we saw at the end of the last episode with the two of them, so they're off together. So but at least because I didn't even think about Jubilee, but I think they could have at least like referenced it or mentioned it. But shout out Art. He just pulled up.
I think they might just be setting something up between them for later down the line.
They're definitely doing that for sure.
Yo.
Yeah, what up, Art?
What up, Art?
What's good? I ain't gonna be too long, man.
Wait a second. Everybody wait just a second. Is that fucking Morph? I'll beat the dog shit out you, boy.
No, this not
okay, if that's real,
this Art, man. Morph called me to handle you myself, bro. I don't need
y'all see the characters Morph? Y'all saw Morph turn into the other mutants in that fight?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. I like
Morph is fire.
Yeah, go ahead, Art.
No, I'm about to say Morph. So I'm not too familiar. I seen like a few episodes that he was in the original. Like, is he just fucking Mystique, or he got some other shit going on?
Morph is Morph, to my knowledge.
From what
I know, he's Morph. I'm saying like, we got the same power? Yeah.
You can never trust like movies and shit. Like, but from the movies, it just looks like Mystique just like takes on the form of like looking like somebody else. Morph looks like he actually like turns into a motherfucker because he turned into Colossus and was eating fucking laser blasts or bullets or whatever.
That shit was crazy. That was Mystique, a great callback.
Mystique showed that she can use their powers too, though. Like,
I don't remember.
It's significantly weaker than the real person, though.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I was just last episode saying I didn't know no Morph. I thought he was new, so I don't know nothing.
No, Morph is like Morph was in the first 2 episodes of the original, and he died.
They said on that shit Slim Watch, they said that he had a whole arc through like 5 seasons and shit of that whole.
Yeah, no. The first 2 episodes he died. Like he came back like later on, but the first 2 episodes he was in, and they like like you said, he sacrificed himself.
Yeah,
Some shit.
facts.
Mm-hmm.
He sacrificed
But
himself to save somebody.
I feel like
you said Wolverine, huh?
he got that
Yeah.
mischievous type of demeanor about him that he probably gonna turn or some shit later on again.
I don't
So
know. I
he,
think that right here,
yeah,
like this is his redemption arc. Like I think that he had
yeah,
like
he
his,
already turned.
Yeah,
bitch assery.
I mean, but like once you turn like that type of power, just that's just sets up for like a turn type of character.
No,
I wouldn't put nothing past him.
that's a fact. Hey, you want something I thought was funny, something random that I'll like mention. You know, like within this shit, you have the Friends of Humanity. They're setting up, you know, during the protests and shit. Motherfuckers pull up out there, bitch. It never really hit me until then. That motherfucker like had like a piece of armor or a weapon that had like their initials on that bitch. I was like, man, oh man, the Friends of Humanity got the same initials as fuck out of here, man. I was
I mean, yeah, I saw
That's
that,
fire.
and I definitely thought fuck out of it here. I didn't even think Friends of Humanity
hell
when
yeah,
I
Slim.
saw
It
it.
took me a second. I was like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah, I saw
Nah,
it like
boy,
on a shirt or something, right?
but boy, they
Yeah.
was whooping ass though. The Friends of
man,
Humanity, boy, they made
I
they
can't
made
remember that
It was
Cyclops look.
really
motherfucking name.
Executioner that was whooping
Yeah,
Yeah,
ass
that
yeah.
by
So
motherfucker.
himself.
Well, he
Solo.
got in his bag. Well, first things first. Before that shit happens, you know what I'm saying. So let's like go back a little bit. You know, Magneto did all this shit, but still the government and them pulled up on them at the X Mansion and shit. They were like, "Hey, Magneto, you gonna come answer for what you did?" And she was like, "Hey, you thought you
Valerie.
had us, huh? We got. Hold on. I got one in the chamber fireworks. This motherfucker thought, oh yeah, you got a wooden gun, a plastic gun, huh? That motherfucker picked up choppers and aimed them bitches at them, boy.
Yeah.
Somebody tell Pujols that wooden gun shit ain't gonna work here. You hear me?
And I want
That
to say
shit
I
ain't
want to say
about
something
shit.
about I don't know
I'll
I
pick
don't
up
know
a chopper, boy. You got a metal belt buckle. I'll kill you with it. Like,
I don't know how far y'all got it. I don't know how far y'all got into. I want to say something about Cyclops though, because I see a lot of people like, yeah, finally they're making Cyclops seem like the leader. Like more the movies, this was what Cyclops was. In the show, Cyclops always was the
yeah,
Captain
he's
America type
definitely the
of guy.
leader.
Only the movies made him look trash though. Like they did that. That's the only thing. That's the only time he's ever been really trash is in the movies.
But
Like he's always been one of them niggas. And then also Storm too. Like I feel like they doing a lot of these characters justice. Like Storm looks a lot stronger than like people portray her as.
and then
And
Now
then
let's
what?
get back to the executioner beating the shit out these niggas.
well, yeah, that's what I was about to say, Slim. So they take Magneto decides, all right, I'm gonna let y'all live. I'm gonna go do your little fuck ass trial. You know what I'm saying? So they go up there. It's a great scene, honestly. The trial shit is great because like the evil motherfucker isn't inherently wrong. So I
Let
think
me ask a
that's
question
fine.
before you get there. So we saw the scene where executioner was beating their ass. So correct me if I'm wrong first. Rogue was not in there fighting with them, right? She was outside somewhere, right?
I
She was
thought
fighting outside.
no, she was on the outside, and then eventually she leaves for things that we're
Okay,
about to talk about.
So my question is, so obviously it's not the full X-Men lineup fighting against Executioner. If they were the full lineup, including Wolverine, Rogue, Jubilee, do they beat this nigga, or does he beat the fuck out of just all of them?
I'm
Like
gonna
the
be
same way
honest
he
with
did?
you, Slim. Like he will get cooked in most capacity. Like a lot of them
Yeah,
wasn't
Storm wasn't
even
there either.
fighting him. He fought Bishop, Beast.
It was Bishop, Beast, Cyclops,
and Cyclops. Like
Morph too.
I'm talking about. But like if Storm jumped in the way of a gunshot, Slim, she would have cooked him. Like
I mean, I agree.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Rogue probably would have cooked the fuck out him.
Yeah.
Wolverine
that may be
probably
why
would have got on his bitch ass too.
That may be why they left those characters out of this particular scene.
Like he's got
he's
a
fire character.
Great fighting capabilities, but like Storm is a literal god, pretty much. So like Magneto is that to a lesser extent, but he had a collar on. Like as soon as Magneto got free from that shit, you see he smoked
that
Buddy.
Shit
Buddy
they
tried
did,
to run off and he smoked him.
Nigga, that little tag team shit they did, that collaboration was fire as
fuck.
Yeah.
Where they tried to stop
they got a lot
the
more
group.
like they got a lot more of those.
And who?
And
Magneto and Storm, the shit they did together.
And yeah. When they made that electrical fucking
She
cage,
pulled up them
that shit was
spikes. No, he
crazy,
pulled up
bro.
the spikes and shit. Or he made spikes out of the fucking furniture and desk and shit. And then she kind of just lit them bitches up and made them electrified and shit.
Yeah, I hope they do more of those. Like, I think the trailer even showed that they're gonna do more of those with the Gambit and
Bro,
Wolverine and
I
shit. So it's
told
gonna be
y'all,
fire.
man, in the
Oh yeah,
first
he was fighting
episode.
Gambit too.
Bro, the
Yeah.
powers, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like the best selling point of this shit. Like if they, they're portraying that well, and that's like what's going to help carry the series. That and like giving the character arcs and motivations and shit.
One thing this is gonna do though is set us a standard for when they put like the movies and shit. This is gonna set a standard like as far as what they're going to got to do with the movies.
As far as what?
Like just what are we talking about? Action scenes and the story, because that's what X-Men is built on. Story, like storylines and shit like that. Like that's the main thing. And when you had this pretty much a couple years before when they started dropping the movies and shit, it's gonna, how people, all niggas do is compare nowadays. Like that's all they do
I
is
think
compare and
that
contrast.
Deadpool shit is gonna do a lot too. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
They'll
Deadpool's
get to
gonna
like.
do. Deadpool's gonna
Deadpool
like
always does that.
Most
Deadpool
I
can
mean,
definitely.
damn near do
he's
no wrong.
already technically started doing that shit because they had Colossus in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Juggernaut. Like they had a
Yeah,
few of them in
Deadpool can do no
the
wrong, bro.
shit.
Like all you
Cable.
gotta do is like,
Yeah, Cable. But like I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, that whole like that segment, just all the shit in the courtroom and like, that spawned from it, that is the best shit about this episode, clearly. But
yeah,
specifically, like, what I'm saying, Magneto finally had enough of this bullshit, you know what I'm saying?
That
Storm
nigga
gets
said
shot
never
with this
again.
fucking laser, and he
I thought it was
literally
up.
lifts.
Yeah,
Hold
for
on,
real.
Slim. He like Buddy tried to run away. He caught him, put him on the big fucking symbol of justice that was behind that bitch, basically like a spinning fucking wheel, and then just picks all of them up off the ground in an electromagnetic force and takes them outside of Earth. And he's like, hey, like, y'all don't understand what y'all are fucking with. That little
Mhm.
justice shit y'all got is cool and all, but I could really clap the fuck out all of you at any
yeah,
point in time with no remorse, you know?
It's the fact that he had them all like in a force bubble type shit. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep them unharmed, just to and then just show the capabilities and to its full extent. Yeah,
What
no,
he
that was
could do to these
It is, yeah, it's
niggas.
yeah,
the
it was
extent. It's literally
crazy.
like I'm trying to be a better person, but y'all remember I'm not
Yo,
too
He
far
said
testing
off
me,
that.
of being
man.
a
Yo,
fucking
testing my
gangster.
That's what
gangster,
he
nigga.
said.
and
That's what
it's
he
crazy.
said.
Like,
You
It's
testing my
crazy. It just shows
gangster.
how fire Disney production is, because we already talked about how the animation is not that great, but you can still get lost in these fight scenes and shit like that
well, that's
with
what I
this.
said. Like the
Mhm.
fight scenes and the stories are like carrying the fucking,
Yeah,
the gaps
but
in
like just
animation
imagine,
or the voice actors that aren't
like
like that great.
just imagine if you had to some fucking like more fluent like animation. This should be
Mm-hmm.
god tier.
Well,
like,
I'm under the assumption because I didn't notice it as much this time. I don't know if it got better, if I was just like more so lost in the story. But I think that obviously that was a pilot, and I'm assuming that over the course of this time they'll improve it. Like
yeah,
as the
yeah.
seasons go on,
It,
like I
the
think it'll
shit,
get better.
the shit keep reminding me of Archer, bro. Like the anime, like the
Yeah,
lines thick as fuck. like
a lot of that is
this shit,
it's a similar art style. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It
But
still looks good though. Definitely
It
a
looks
lot
really
polished.
good. It's the exact same like art style of the original, just like thicker lines and bolder lines.
hey, Slim.
Mhm.
That doctor said he wasn't gonna deliver Gene baby. So they said, hey, Rogue, go take this motherfucker medical
Do your
knowledge real
thing.
quick. And
She
that
took
bitch,
that glove off.
hell yeah, that
Yeah.
bitch went up there. He said, no, stay away. And he just
That
got
doctor was
smoked.
talking crazy though.
Yeah.
He deserved what he got. He was
He
talking
said,
crazy.
I
bro, I'm
mean, like
telling you, bro,
to
you
be
He
fair,
was racist.
bro, I'm about to say, if you listen to all
he
of
had
this
That
a
nigga
shit,
definitely
like,
said we
like
don't
his
serve your kind here.
yeah.
He was
no, but
definitely racist.
at the same time, he had a semi valid, like he had a semi valid reason. Like these niggas don't be controlling their power sometimes, bro. Like he trying to save his
Man,
damn
fuck
self.
that.
I mean,
Like,
no,
it's not
I
like this. Yeah,
agree,
like
but
they
like
say,
also,
And
you know
look
what I'm
what
saying,
happened
bro,
to him.
you took the Hippocratic oath, bitch. Like, I'll get you, get your license
Nah,
revoked.
because I definitely feel like them people in the hospital is on the same type of, because it's still the human versus mutant thing going on. So
Shit,
yeah,
they
yeah.
wasn't as soon as he got knocked out.
That's a fact.
Oh.
They ain't had no.
Them nurses ran off. They said, hey, go get this and that and this, and they
If
ran
I
off.
knock a
They
nigga
asked no
out, the
questions.
nurses listen to me too.
Nah,
I don't
Rogue was
understand.
like,
Same thing.
Rogue was like, you
Nurses
better
don't
act like
listen
you
to you,
know.
Slim. Hell
If I
yeah.
knock a
He said,
nigga out,
he said, you better act like you know.
I'm knock you out, KTL first.
That's
You gonna
cool.
be the
The nurses
example.
ain't gonna listen to you.
Shit. They see me knock your ass up.
How?
These hands.
Wait,
nigga.
are you talking about me or Morph Me? Like, because Morph Me will beat your ass.
Ain't no morph you. Why would
So-
morph into you?
So
You KTL.
Because it's the most powerful thing that's around
There's
him at
no
the
way
time.
the nigga gonna morph. Why would he do
Clearly.
that?
yeah.
Because he turns into the most powerful shit around him.
A racist?
Yeah, I guess. Like,
Oh my god.
Nigga say yes.
I think
That's
yeah,
twice.
like
my
I
God.
don't like it.
Oh my
That's twice.
god.
Whatever
Two
attribute.
times.
What is
Yeah.
happening?
Got him.
Yeah,
That
whatever
nigga Morph
attribute
Me.
you want to
Bang.
give, all I
Bow.
know is
Got him.
yep.
Fuck
Now, as I
wrong
was
with him,
saying,
man.
hey, Slim,
25,
that racist might beat your
40
ass
something.
though.
Hey, Slim, his special power is to kick his chest out your chest, bro.
All I'm
Man.
saying, Art, is if he want to call that motherfucker a racist, that's fine. But
His
he gonna
special
beat
power is
Slim
being
ass.
big.
And he'll be a semi-decent battle rapper too.
He
so.
gonna beat Slim ass. I know that. Regardless of anything
Yeah, I bet.
else.
It ain't
That
a
hat ain't
version
gonna
of
save
KTL
you, little
alive that
buddy.
could beat me.
Damn.
That hat
Ain't a
ain't gonna
version of
save
him.
you, little buddy.
You better go over there and talk to Art.
That
Ain't a
hat
version
going
of
on
you
the
that can
flow,
beat me,
big.
nigga.
That hat going on the flow, big fella.
You better go talk to Morph Art.
That hat going on the flow, big
I don't know.
fella.
I don't know what Morph can do. I know what Real Dog can do. Though.
I'm gonna keep it a bug. It's no way you colder than Morph Art.
But moving the story along, Gene,
Yeah, the
you
story
know,
of me whooping Slim
yeah,
ass, playing fireworks.
Gene finally gives birth, and they name the kid Nathan, which you know, if you know, you
Cable.
know
Charles.
that is Cables. Yep.
And that's what we
Nathan
discussed
Charles
last
Summers.
episode too. The possibility of I don't know. I think Art, I don't know, you wasn't here, but I think that the little tornado thing from episode 1 that says something to her, I definitely think that could be a Cable thing. Because I don't know
Yeah.
what else it
Well,
would be.
I heard some rumors about the third episode from some like reviewers that they said it's gonna get crazy and it's gonna be a bigger like character coming. So it might be
If
him.
it keeps going up, because like I think this episode is better than the last episode. If it keeps
Yeah, they
going
said
in
the
that
next
direction,
episode is crazy. They said next episode damn near on some horror shit. I'm not sure how true that is.
On
fire.
some godly shit. On some godly shit.
Like some horror type shit. Like that's what I heard from a certain reviewer.
It's gonna be apocalypse again and shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, they mentioned him in this one.
He did, yeah.
Wolverine. He heard Jean yelling. I think that was the scene when she was yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apocalypse.
Oh, she said
they-
he's here or
fucking
something.
hey Slim. At that point, I was like, okay, you know, here's Slim gonna be able to talk about this. He's a fucking idiot, man. What's wrong, Gene? Is it apocalypse? This and that?
Apocalypse?
She said the baby's coming. He said,
This is like, yo,
man.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this Wolverine, bro. Like,
Me either, bro. Me either, man.
I
Yeah,
understand,
yeah,
but y'all
like,
gotta
but Wolverine,
understand that this is Wolverine,
he a
bro.
hater. He a hater. He just obnoxious all the time. Like,
But
I'm
this
like,
is him.
No, it's
like
too
I
early, man.
understand. But
I know,
it's
but
too
like,
early.
I guess Hugh Jackman is the definitive
yeah, y'all
Wolverine.
gotta understand, bro. This is Wolverine. Wolverine is like a feral beast with the brain of a man. Pause. That motherfucker literally.
Yeah, that's
just
what I
does
said
the
yesterday.
fuck
Art,
he
the Hugh
wants
Jackman
and
version
thinks later.
is definitely like cooler than this nigga, bro.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman really changed the
Can't go
character.
back.
Like
He did the
Wolverine
opposite. He
definitely,
did the
like,
opposite of what the movie Cyclops did, pretty much.
Yeah, KTL,
Like-
he can't go back, man. He regressed.
I don't think he regressed, Slim. I think he's just different because he's he's less intelligent, but he's like a better, you know, like he's a
But
better
I've
fighter. So,
I've also seen other animated versions of Wolverine that I like better. Like X-Men Evolution Wolverine was better.
Oh yeah. I like that interpretation, by the way. I think that was a dope.
but
dope
I don't think y'all
interpretation.
can call Wolverine a hater in this in this instance, like because he's
No,
not.
he's just
doing
in
it.
his feelings.
I was about to say.
Oh yeah, I mean
He
Gene.
did the
We all know how
Slim
Gene
didn't
for the
see
streets
movies,
sometimes, bro.
but like in the actual trilogy movies, he's the same way, Slim. Like
Yeah.
he's out here still like
No, you gotta
falling down
blame
behind
some of that.
bitch.
You gotta blame some of that on Jane too, though. Jane be playing.
Of course
playing
it did.
too
Yeah,
far.
no, I told Slim. Slim was like, yeah, he hurt behind this and that. I'm like, yeah, because that bitch went home. Like he got he got his turn with that bitch, and that bitch went home, and now like he hurt. Like, You know what I'm saying? That
Gene
shit
for
is
the
what it
streets,
is,
man.
bro.
Hashtag Gene for the streets.
He too old.
Gene for
Man.
the streets.
But yeah, that like
How she
I
for the
don't know, man.
streets?
But I mean, she can
She got a
do what she
nigga.
want though. But she thinks
Nah,
she'll beat the shit out
I
of
don't really
everybody.
mean that, Slim.
Nah, I was gonna say, how she for the streets?
No, this is
Well,
just a
she
joke,
was
bro.
for the streets.
She not
She came
fucking
back
all the
in from the
mutants.
streets,
She
but
not fucking all the mutants, KTL.
she fucked a few
Hey,
mutants, Slim.
hey, Sam, it's one too many, my nigga. It's one
She
too
got a
many.
mutant
How
body count.
too?
It's one too many. She's
Nah, this that Black Roots theory about you just don't like it because
Oh,
like it's somebody you know,
no.
somebody you close to. That's Black Roots whole thing. Like,
man.
but we ain't gonna talk
You
about Roots
can't be
right now.
you can't be different between two brothers in a fraternity, bro. Like
They not even
Bitches do
cool
that
like
shit
that.
all the time.
they part of the team.
That might be even worse, Slim.
She
Like,
crew loving, bro. That's crew.
All right.
yeah, that
Enough
might
of
be
that.
worse, Slim. That shit that you just said, like, if they not cool, that might be worse.
No, it ain't. She don't owe
Now
no
you are the
loyalty.
focal
Yeah.
point of the issue.
Nah, that's that shit we saw on Saw where the two dudes was fighting over the girl.
Yeah, well, shit, they need to throw that bitch on a saw blade. Fuck that.
I mean, that's
But,
Jean Grey. She probably survived that.
maybe. But there we go. Now, as I was saying, Storm gets smoked by anti-power laser. You know what I'm saying? So that's a thing that moving forward that like her character has to deal with. She's just a human being now, which her and Jean had just had the discussion earlier about that shit. You know.
Most definitely.
So like I think that'll be interesting to see how that develops. I don't know if they're gonna actually follow her on her journey or whatever, or if they're just going to like send her away for a while until she comes back. What do y'all think?
I think they might definitely address it. It's 10 episodes, so like this, like whatever storylines they build up, or side plots or whatever, I feel like they gotta get resolved, like not quickly per se, but for lack of a better word, quickly. So I don't know how much they're gonna fit into every episode, but I guess we shall see. You know what I mean? Very short
Yeah.
season, 10 episodes. So
Let me ask a
yeah.
question real quick. So Magneto's whole thing, even like the part we talked about where we thought he was gonna do one thing, he did something else. His whole thing that he's been emphasizing, and he even said it to Scott, he told him that he's trying to honor Charles's last wish, and that's what his last wish was for Magneto and this whole mutant his dream of the mutant human connection and cooperation or being able to live amongst each other pretty much. So with that being said, do you think that there's going to be like some type of underlying motive or some kind of trick that Magneto is up to, or is he really doing this shit for Charles? Like,
I think that he's really going to do it, but I think that at some point, like, some shit is going to happen where, like, he's going to be pushed too far.
kind of like this, how we thought this shit was going to push him to the edge when Storm got killed. Okay. What about you, Fireworks?
It's too early to call, but for right now, he's definitely playing his role. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely putting on face right now. So
yeah, he looks like an actual a leader. He looks like a leader.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then the way that the episode ends, you know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of different, yet again, branching plot points and shit. Rogue decides she's going to fuck around and find out with Magneto and shit. Gambit's sitting outside the door. He hurt in a bitch now, because of that shit. Wolverine's sad as fuck up in the tree.
I didn't even see that, though. That happened?
Yeah. So there was a scene where, towards the end, where
it's
Magneto
during
and Rogue
Storm's
are in
monologue.
Yeah,
Okay.
Magneto and Rogue are in a room or whatever. They're essentially embracing,
I saw that.
and then she leaves the office and it shows like a little
Gambit
scene of
standing outside.
Gambit, yeah.
And
Rogue,
I missed that. Not Rogue. Storm in the background is talking about certain things happen that change us, and that are unfortunate. All that shit. It's lining up with that.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And then it shows obviously the scene where she gets on the bus and leaves town.
You got sad ass Wolverine up in a tree, and Morph throwing chips at him and turning into fucking
a dog
so they could fight.
Sabretooth? Okay, I call it a dog.
Yeah,
Dog.
that was a dope callback, man. For real, for real. Like the whole Colossus shit that he did earlier in the episode, and then the whole Sabretooth shit. That was hard, for real, for
Facts.
real.
That motherfucker. I don't know, man. I guess that's his partner and shit. Like Wolverine, I guess that's his partner because it's like the second episode where he's, just out here really fucking with Buddy more than the rest of these folks.
Oh, y'all remember that little meme with Wolverine looking at the picture?
Yeah,
Yes,
That's from the original show.
yeah.
yes.
Makes sense. Same animation. And I just
And
realized that way. Okay.
one thing I wanted to highlight was when early in the episode, before Jean gives birth, she has a little one-on-one with Storm about how like she kind of
Wishes
she
she
kind of
was
wants,
human.
yeah, she kind of wants like her, not want, well, yeah, she would
She
rather
hopes
her
that her
baby
baby would
be
be
a human.
human.
Yeah, but little do I mean, moving forward, we know that that's not necessarily the case. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and she
thought that
also
scene was dope.
she told Storm that, well, she told Storm this before she left, but she pretty much told Storm that me and Scott not leaving until you get better, until we figure out how to fix you. And then Storm left. So I don't know if like they had that, but then they had the scene with Magneto talking to Scott and saying, was that what it was? Or was it Jean talking to Scott? Pretty much just saying like that Charles might have did this for us to, so that we could leave. I think that was
Well, that
Jean.
was Jean at first, but that was before
Yeah.
everything happened.
Yeah, and also the Storm shit was before everything happened, and she was like, "We're not leaving until this and this and this." So I mean, I'm just gonna
No,
assume
that
they're
wouldn't
not
make
gonna.
sense, Slim.
No, yeah, what?
Like, it wouldn't make sense if she says we're not leaving until you get better if it had been before that shit happened. It hadn't happened
That's
to her
not what I
yet.
meant. Yeah, I didn't mean that.
Uh,
I meant it happened before the Magneto shit at the end when he talked to Scott. But I just think since it's a 10 episode series, the way it's going, I'm just gonna assume that they won't leave. They're gonna be here for the entirety of the season. So that's my thought on that.
I mean, there's not a whole lot left to really say, honestly. I don't think that's just about it. Final thoughts?
Yeah, man, I definitely feel like this episode was better than the last. Um, the story definitely picked up. I think that fight scene, the one fight scene they did have was fire. I'm thinking we're gonna get more fight scenes like towards the middle or the end of this series because that's probably where the climax is gonna be. Um, so yeah, I would give this 8. I gave the one yesterday a 7. I think this went up to about an 8 this time. Still picking up. I think that Art said he heard next week was going to be like crazy, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be like.
I'm excited, man. One last thing I want to highlight was that after that whole thing was said and done, where Magneto gets grant a pardon by the UN.
Yep,
They discussed the possibility of like integrating like a mutant nation of Genosha. So I
yep,
thought that was interesting. That's definitely gonna be
that's a
another
fact.
side plot for later down the line. So definitely look out for that. But this episode was a lot better story wise. I love the episode. I'm gonna give it a 8.7.
Okay, KTL, before you go, is one thing we forgot. The very last
Yeah.
scene, there's a knock at the fucking door while they're all standing there. And then they open the door and it's fucking Jean Grey.
Yep.
And
Look
she's
alike.
saying, I need the no, I think it's the multiverse thing that they're doing here.
Oh shit.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's that.
You think it's a well, fireworks said lookalike. There's no way it's a
Well,
lookalike. I
I
think
don't. I think it's because like in the fucking the comic books and shit, Cable is the result of Scott sleeping with
a
like
clone.
a Jean Grey. Yeah, pretty much made by Mr. Sinister, and I think that could be what they're doing here.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
So are you saying you think the Jean that was at the door is the real Jean?
There's a possibility, but I don't know. I think that there's a I'm gonna have to see what happens next. But I think there's a possibility they get into some shenanigans where like, oh, which one is the real one and such and such.
I think the problem with that is so like I said, my theory is that it's an alternate universe gene, but I think the issue with what you're saying is that this gene that's inside the house was the one that was pregnant and had the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So it would just seem like naturally she is the gene that gave birth to this Cable. Like it would, to me, it wouldn't make sense for the one outside the door to say that she's the mother of,
So
that.
this is true, but okay. So here's my theory: is that if it were to go in this way, you know, what I'm saying, like sometime during, like I say, I haven't seen the original series in a while, but you know, Jean in this episode was talking about like she's got the little uniform and shit, and she's like, I haven't worn this since whenever the fuck it was, whatever fight that was, and
Yep.
you know, you're assuming, yeah, like it's because she's pregnant and this and that, but I think that there's every possibility because like with these clones and shit, they retain the memories of the, you know, the original person. So I think there's every possibility that in like within some fight, you know, like she might have like there was a time where she wasn't around or had gone missing, and you know there was a replacement, you know, put into place, right? And so that's the one that ended up going back with the X-Men as part of this and that, whatever. And then this is the gene that is stuck and lost wherever the fuck she was at, you know, and she made her way back and shit. You know, I now like I say, there's a bunch of different ways, but if it were to be in that manner, that is how I think it would go.
Guess we shall find out next week.
Yeah, I ain't confident to make no bet about that. I heard what happens when motherfuckers bet on what happens in these shows, man.
Yeah, Fireworks still owe me money, I think. But
No,
yeah,
I
so
don't. No, I don't, nigga. No,
you
I
paid it
don't.
to me?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that my two
If he
theories
don't,
are
if he
going to
don't give
be
you that money, you know.
my two theories are going to be either the
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot
alternate
Slim.
the alternate universe thing, or either maybe they could be doing some time travel things too, since Cable is a time travel thing. I think that might be a little complicated, but maybe that could be a thing. So those are my two.
All right, so they gave us the improvements we asked for with the last episode. The art style remained, you know, beautiful in terms of the vibrant colors and whatnot. They did fewer fight scenes, but they made them, you know, just as impactful. They gave a lot of good character development and, you know, differing plot points here. They left us with another good cliffhanger for the episode, you know, and now we wait a week, you know, it'll be Wednesday whenever the next one drops, and it gives you anticipation for the shit. I'll probably get this bitch a 8.5. You know, I'm enjoying this shit. You know, like I think that this is a good project so far. We'll just have to see if they continue the momentum, but you know, I think that they're on the uptick right now.
All right, man. Anything else before we get out of here?
Not really.
No, I don't think so. I really like a beat the shit out Slim, but like I
Oh.
think that's about
Outro.
I think that's about it.
Cue the outro. What are you talking about? When he says some dumbass shit like that, I gotta cue the outro, bro.
I couldn't even hear it. I wasn't even on the app. I'm just hearing it now.